would you say the same things to someone's face that you say to them online? A real world experience, I had somebody back in the day threaten to punch me out, and then I saw them in person, and it was a handshake and a. And why is that, right? Why? What is the? What is it that online allows us to dehumanize people? So when I say dehumanize, I mean treat people as less than human. They're less than a person. They're worth less, worthless, right? We go online and we're dealing with people, but we're not, right? Like I got Facebook friends. Are they really friends? Facebook calls them friends. I prefer Google Plus. They were in your circle, but they're not really your friends, right? And they might not even be really who they are, right? There's some anonymity behind social media, which is kind of why I like YouTube videos. You get to see me, right? Face to face. You meet me at a convention, you meet me at a gaming place, you meet me on the street. You should have an idea of what I am like for my videos. I try to be as authentic as I can be. But when you're online, right, you're interacting with, I don't know, tweets and PMs or public posts and comments. It changes the parameters. It's face to face. There's empathy. I can read a face. You can't read intent with a bunch of words on a screen, right? Social media. It's a bane. It's a blessing, and it's a bane, and it's a curse. And what do I say that? It allows anonymous trolls, even with real names, but they're quasi anonymous, right? And there's distance. You wouldn't say things that you say online in your local bar or your hangout spot, right? Because somebody would knock you on your ass for your words. But you can do it online, no repercussions. I can dance, I can make fun of you, I can mock you, I can mock what you care about. I can call you names. There's no repercussions. And it's a bit of an echo chamber, right? Because we self select. I know I self select. I self selected anybody who likes to discuss politics pretty much out of my feed on Facebook. There's very few of them left unless I know them in real life. Because I just don't like to hear that in my feed. We self select. There's an echo chamber. I know somebody used to refer to it as their walled garden, right? You hear what you want, and because you self selected, you get the responses that you want. Facebook, X, all these places, the algorithm rewards excesses. It rewards anger, rewards acting out in temper tantrums. Outrage spreads quicker than empathy. And everybody wants to be seen and heard, right? I need my dopamine hit of people responding to me and giving me likes and and laughing at what I said. It doesn't mean shit. And the thing is, people with other opinions, they're just a thing. They don't exist in real life, right? They don't just exist on screen as a name, as an avatar. Why? We sort ourselves as humans, okay, into us and them. It's a natural thing. But on social media, It is amplified. It is all about us and them. Okay, those lines get really thick. And the algorithm, rhythm, can't speak, it boosts tribalism. It feeds off it. They want to sell you ad dollars. They're going to sell you ad dollars when you get more engaged. When do you get more engaged? When you're involved in tribalism. Identity is turned into labels, right? You don't like me, you call me something. I've been called many things. My friends have been called many things. You've probably been called many things. But when they call it to you, when they send it to you to your face, no. But they'll say it online. Public arguments have become performances. And you're performing for your side. You're not convincing minds on the other side. You're aiming your performance, your dance, your two-step. You're aiming it for your side because you want that dopamine hit. You want the you're right, but you're not convincing anybody who's not already there. So why are we doing it? We call people names, right? NPCs, sheep, bots, um, Yahtzees, woke, and things that are tards and everything else, right? Because labels dehumanize. And of course, there's that feedback loop. Because the more you dehumanize other people, the more people on you, the us, versus them, you get rewarded by likes, you get rewarded by comments, you get rewarded by reactions. There are real world consequences for this bullshit, right? I grew up in the 70s, okay? Bullying in school was just second nature. And you generally dealt with it by fighting back. Um, it wasn't turn the other cheek. But we have teens today that are getting not just bullied at school, they're getting cyberbullied. They can't even go home and escape it. This polarization. We're seeing it now. We saw it at the last presidential election, but it's just, I thought it was going to get better. It's gotten worse. Us versus them. And the lines change. And if you're not part of us, you are them. Even if you don't want to be part of this argument. There isn't just two sides. It's us and then everybody else. That's how it comes out. You're either with me or against me. And it's dragging people into it that have no desire to be part of it. Huge part, by the way. We saw this last week. We're seeing this after last week's incident. Desensitization. Okay. Somebody got killed. People are dancing about it. People are like, oh yeah, they deserve it. Whatever. Yeah, clapping. To human life. I don't care if you like the person or not. Okay? It's an assassination to take joy and satisfaction. And I've seen people say, oh, we need a list of others. No. But we're desensitized to it. And why are we desensitized to it? Because we've been told now for years words equal violence. So if hateful and aggressive language is treated the same as fisticuffs, physical harm, and worse, then physical violence can seem to be no worse than words, right? He said something I find hateful. Therefore, I am justified in using physical violence to respond to that. We are normalizing hostility. We are normalizing violence. And why are we doing that? Because words are violence. And therefore, violence is no worse than words. And it's taking a toll on people, their mental health. People that are targeted and people that are targeting. It doesn't. This is toxic. The atmosphere has gotten toxic. So, why is this happening? There's an in group bias. We like to find people that are kind of like ourselves and have similar beliefs, but then we amplify it, right? In times like this. And it's that dopamine reward, that loop of I have approval. People are approving of my reaction. Oh, my people in my tribe are saying, go, go, go. That reward, it's fleeting. It's worthless. And it's hard to have empathy for somebody that has just a name on a screen, an avatar, if you will, a pseudonym. You have empathy for people, but remember, you've dehumanized everybody on the other side. So you don't have empathy for them. So how do you address this? How do you stop this cycle? Pause. Pause before posting. This is something that my wife taught me many years ago. When I was ready to respond in anger, and she's like, hey, stop. Take a breath. Walk away from the keyboard and then come back when you're no longer emotional, when you're no longer reacting. And I know for some people this is a game. I see it. I see it amongst people that I consider my friends. But it's a game with consequences. We've seen the consequences. Listen to voices outside of your echo chamber. There is more to life than hearing your words spoken back to you in different voices and tones. Seriously, there is. I am happy that I have friends on the left and the right and in the center, and we are happy to disagree on a lot of stuff. But we can have discussions about that. That's what mature adults do. Hell, that's what immature children can do. As long as we avoid this tribalism. And I don't know if we can avoid it, honestly. Now, I know some of my friends are trying this. I try this. And assume misunderstanding before assuming malice. Now, there are some times when you just can't. Sometimes you're looking at something and you go, wow, I didn't think this was person's my friend, and they were like this. That might not be a misunderstanding. That might be emotion. And that might be where I'm telling you before, step away from the keyboard. Step away. Take a breath. Some of you might need to take a night. Sleep it off. It's almost like being intox. If you're a moderator of a gaming group, especially, all right, and there are groups that are made for politics, and that's going to have what's going to have. But if you have a gaming group, try to keep it to gaming, right? That's what it's supposed to be about. If you got a gaming convention, try to keep it about gaming. Keep the political talk away from it. I mentioned that in a prior video. You know, I know of a convention that, hey, some people wanted to know how their GMs voted in the last presidential election, and can they wear badges to show it? No, no. Go screw. Okay, we should be stressing what brings us together, not what divides us. Support the creators in our industry that humanize the community. You shouldn't be supporting anyone that demonizes one side or the other. I don't care what their beliefs are. If you can see half the population as being less worthy of living, maybe you're the one that's less worthy of being amongst us. Maybe you need to be, you know, a troll on your own under a bridge or something like that. I don't know. But think about it. Again, would you say this to somebody's face? If you wouldn't say it to their face because they'd probably punch you in the eye, maybe you shouldn't say it online. Maybe. Just think about it. Have you been put in a situation? Have you thought about somebody as less than human because their beliefs were different than yours? Because their experiences were different than yours? Because maybe they grew up in a different type of neighborhood than you, or different state, or a different country. Do you dehumanize people because they aren't like you? Have you caught yourself doing that? I'm sure the comments are going to be all over the place. And people are going to agree with what I'm saying, and people are going to disagree with what I'm saying. As long as we have a civil conversation, right? That's what it's about. It's when that conversation becomes dehumanizing, when it becomes name calling, when it becomes labeling, when it becomes potentially violent in the real world. That's when we've lost. And I don't want to be a loser. Okay? Being a loser is easy. We should all try to be winners. Folks, these are never not an easy video. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me. And I'll catch you all online. Remember, live stream Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. God bless. Catch you later.